Top 10 Darkest Secrets of Coca-Cola. We as a whole realize that the specific recipe to make Coca-Cola is stayed quiet about. It will likely remain that path for quite a while, if not until the end of time. While we don't know all that is placed into Coca-Cola, we do realize that they without a doubt use water. You can't make most beverages without water, so it's not amazing that the sugary beverage has a ton of water in it. This, in any case, turns into an issue in nations that have issues getting perfect water on a steady basis. It takes a ton of water to make only one jug of Coca-Cola, and this has brought about more unfortunate nations not having any entrance to water because of Coca-Cola production lines spending the entirety of the fluid. Not exclusively individuals not have enough water to drink, yet they need more water for their yields, which means they additionally pass up water. You wouldn't believe that working at a Coca-Cola production line could bring about anybody kicking the bucket, yet that is actually what befallen a few Coca-Cola assembly line laborers in Colombia. It was in 1986, and the day began generally typical when the industrial facility was out of nowhere trapped by a lot of wild-looked individuals from a close-by paramilitary gathering. A Colombian Coca-Cola official attempted to get the men to leave, yet the men can't, and they wound up murdering the official. This brought about the paramilitary gathering giving Coca-Cola a final proposal. Be peaceful and leave, or bite the dust. Obviously, the representatives left the production line as fast as could be expected under the circumstances, where the gathering assumed control over the processing plant and made it theirs. Coca-Cola, despite everything, gets analysis for this, as they did next to know to discover why this homicide went down in any case. Also, when the industrial facility in the end opened up once more, the greater part of the first laborers were essentially terminated. Coca-Cola clearly needs to be the greatest drink organization on the planet. Now, it's protected to state that they most likely are. Despite the fact that their size hasn't prevented them from purchasing out organizations so as to get however much cash flow as could reasonably be expected. This is the thing that occurred in India in 1977. Coca-Cola had started their extension to India selling their items at neighborhood shops. Tragically, they didn't work out quite as well as they arranged. Not many individuals purchased their item, and Coca-Cola lost a ton of cash, so they left before they could lose any more cash. Then in 1977, an Indian organization called Thumbs Up showed up, and they sold their own bubbly beverage. Coca-Cola had just left, leaving the open door for another organization to have its spot. Coca-Cola wound up purchasing the Thumbs Up organization and rebranding it. This made individuals believe they're giving their cash to Thumbs Up, however it truly winds up in the pockets of Coca-Cola. This implies Coca-Cola is selling Coca-Cola. We as a whole expertise sound what it is. We additionally realize that we have to drink a respectable sum each and every day, except there was where Coca-Cola was totally debilitating against that. All Coca-Cola needed to do was get however much cash flow as could be expected by urging individuals to drink Coke over water. To do this, they propelled a battle that passed by the name H2No. This crusade should get servers and servers to push Coca-Cola on clients, as opposed to exhausting old water. Coca-Cola was attempting to get eateries on their side by saying water would just exhaust the clients, and that Coca-Cola would rather cause them to feel hummed. Perhaps they expected clients would spend more cash on nourishment, which would profit both Coca-Cola and the eateries over the long haul. This was essentially a path for Coca-Cola to bring down their opposition: water. Additionally, they got some. Will Coca-Cola execute you? On the off chance that you drink enough of it, it obviously can. Coca-Cola confronted analysis when a lady from New Zealand, obviously alcoholic herself to death by drinking a lot of the pop. She was just 30, and she went through the greater part of her days swallowing down a great many containers of Coca-Cola. The coroner who watched the lady's body said that a significant number of her ailments could be connected back to her Coca-Cola dependence, which brings up the issue: just how addictive is Coca-Cola? There's no uncertainty that numerous individuals drink Coca-Cola a few times each day. However, what's never recognized by the organization is the thing that makes their specific fixing so addictive that it can prompt a grown-up's death. The coroner said that on the off chance that she wasn't drinking so much Coca-Cola, at that point she, despite everything, would have been alive, something Coke never truly looked up to. In the 1990s, Coca-Cola was trying to tackle the idea of getting the younger generations to consume their products. The 90s were a time where things were slowly changing in regards to what we ate and drank, but Coca-Cola was quick to jump and make certain that kids would drink their products and their products only while at school. The company would hand over money to schools, which would result in Coca-Cola getting the rights to sell their drinks in said schools. This resulted in one New York school getting a stadium with a giant Coca-Cola sign, which meant kids were being advertised to even when at school. Schools were then urged to sell the products to the kids, despite how unhealthy too much of the product can be. Coca-Cola clearly has no issues trying to beat out their competition and make as much money as possible. This can be seen with how they source their ingredients. The company used to get their coca leaves from local farmers in Peru, and some say that some of the US factories are still doing this. The issue with that is that coca leaves are almost entirely illegal around the globe. They are commonly used to make cocaine, and this, of course, is an illegal drug. The real problem is that coca leaves can technically be used for other things as well. Legal things, like candy. If they're made correctly, of course. Because of the drug laws that have been implemented, these farmers in Peru can only sell their products to Coca-Cola. They're the only company in the US that's allowed to have access to the leaves. This means Coca-Cola can ask for the leaves for pretty much any price they want, which leaves a lot of the farmers poor and struggling, something Coca-Cola doesn't. The Coca-Cola company was under fire a few years ago due to their research department employees speaking out about misconduct. Coca-Cola has always been branded as a company that promotes unhealthy, sugary drinks. It is a fact that Coca-Cola's drinks contain quite a bit of sugar, and we all know that sugar can lead to obesity. Coca-Cola, however, was funding scientists who would instead place the blame on people simply not exercising. Coca-Cola wanted the world to know that obesity had nothing to do with what a person consumed, and everything to do with their lack of movement and exercise. A lot of people claimed Coca-Cola was being extremely irresponsible with the data they were sharing, as it did not take into consideration just how damaging sugary drinks can be. The company said that obesity couldn't be dealt with by cutting down calories, something that a lot of nutritionists disagree with. Coca-Cola used to contain traces of cocaine in their drinks. It might sound like some silly urban legend you heard at school, but it is true that the fizzy drink used to contain the drug. There have been countless disagreements on how much was featured in the drink, but the fact is that Coca-Cola used to use coca leaves in their products, and some say that they still do. In those leaves, you'll find cocaine alkaloid which, of course, can be used to create cocaine. In 1903, the company began to slowly but surely remove cocaine from their drinks, mainly because a lot of white Americans became worried about the overwhelming amount of African Americans who were buying Coca-Cola. Many weren't allowed to use fountains, so they ended up just buying their own drinks instead. White Americans were fearful that this would result in them being attacked by people consuming the drug-filled liquid. At this point we all know that Coca-Cola had traces of cocaine in their drinks, but did you know that Coca-Cola was originally meant to be a straight-up alcoholic drink? Coca-Cola was supposed to be simple but sweet-tasting wine, but Prohibition came around, making the overall drink illegal. That was when the creator of Coca-Cola decided to include cocaine into the drinks instead. They then rebranded the drink as a headache cure, with the medicinal power coming from the cocaine. This was, of course, a time before people really knew what kind of damage cocaine could actually do. While Coca-Cola never seems to really acknowledge the odd things in their drinks, they were criticized recently because of reports that were released. The reports stated that Coca-Cola did indeed contain traces of alcohol, which doesn't appear to be written anywhere on the bottle. This caused an uproar, especially in countries that have a. Thanks for watching, and you can subscribe to the channel.